Move ahead with the PHP variables. So we'll be talking about PHP variables scope in this session. In PHP, variables can be declared anywhere in the script. You have gone through the PHP programs and the variables as well. You have covered couple of questions like addition of two numbers, using functions you have displayed, and you have added certain number like c equals to a plus b using functions. You have worked on the recursion as well. You are able to find out the factorial of a number, like program to find the factorial of 5 that results out to be 120. So in PHP, variables can be declared anywhere in the script. So wherever you want, you can declare the variables. The scope of a variable is the part of the script where the variable can be referred or where the variable can be used. So you can declare the variable anywhere in the script, but the scope will make a difference. So there are three different variable scopes. The first one is the global, the second is the local, and the third is the static. So let's discuss these all three one by one. So global scope, a variable declared outside a function has a global scope. So if you declare a variable outside, that is having a global scope and can be used only and can be only assessed outside a function. So that type of a variable, it is assessed outside a function anywhere in the program, but it is accessible outside the program only. So let's consider this example. We have a variable x which is declared as a global scope. So this is the function declaration. We have declared this variable outside the function. So if you use the value of x inside the function, it will generate an error. You fire an echo statement, and in the echo statement you have entered variable x inside function is, and you have tried using the variable x inside this particular function. So in the output you can see that no value is being appeared because this is a global scope, and inside the function this will generate an error, and you will not be having any output. So this is the function call which generates to the this all function definition. Then you are having an echo statement where variable x outside function is $x. Since this is declared in global scope, so variable x outside the function, it is accessible. So you are having this value as 5 in the output. So in the output you will be getting variable x inside function is no value is there, and variable x outside function is value 5. So this is your output. So that is the global scope where variable x is defined inside the program but outside the functions. Global scope, all the variables that you declare outside the functions. Actually, they are inside the program. If you consider the program, this is inside the program only. So this is the complete program. This is your starting tag. This is your ending tag. So these variables are inside your program, but these are outside your function definition. These are not there inside the function definition, but this is there inside the program. So they are accessible inside the program anywhere, but they are not accessible inside a function definition. So moving ahead, we have local scope. A variable declared within a function has a local scope and can only be accessed within that particular function. So if you declare a variable inside a function, that is having a local scope. For example, in this program, you are having x equals to 5. Now x is declared inside the function definition. X is inside the function definition. This is the name of the function. So x is there in the local scope. So if you fire an echo statement, echo variable x inside function is $x. And you call that particular function. So this function will be redirected to this definition and you will be getting an output as variable x inside function is 5 because this is a local scope. Then if you try using the same local scope variable outside the particular function, variable x outside function is $x. But $x is a local scope which is declared within the function. For $x, there is no output. It gives you an error. So no output is there. Thus, this program will generate this output. Then moving ahead, we are having global keyword. The global keyword is used to access a global variable from within a function. So global variable, it is used to access the global variables that are defined within a function. For example, if you consider this program, this is the PHP starting tag. This is the PHP ending tag. So this is the complete PHP code. Now we are having two variables x and y which are declared in the global scope. X and y global scope. So it is used to access a global variable. So x and y, these are the global variables. So we need to access inside a function. So this is the function declaration. If you access x and y normally over here, it will generate an error. No output will be displayed. No value will be there. But with using global keyword, if you write global in front of that, like global x comma y, if you declare using the global keyword, then it will retain their values x equals to 5 and y equals to 10. So it will retain x and y values and you can have a local scope variable. You can have $y equals to $x plus y. So $y is a global scope variable. $x is also a global scope variable. $y is also a global scope variable. So value y will be updated inside the function. And later on, when you give a function call, this definition will get executed. And later you will be using the echo statement and echo statement echo $y. It will display the new value of variable $y. Why so? Because this global keyword helps to access a global variables within the functions. So whenever you want to use global variables are those which are defined or declared outside the functions. Within the function you want to use them out, use the keyword global. So 10 plus 5 output is 15. So moving ahead, we are having static keyword. Normally when a function is completed or executed, all of its variables are deleted. However, sometimes we want a local variable not to be deleted. What happens is when the program gets completed or it is fully executed, all the variables that you have created, these are deleted so as to release the memory. But in case if you want to preserve the value of any variable, like you are assigning roll numbers and you are running a script that today, say 100 students have been enrolled. You want to give the roll numbers to each of the student. You run the script and it will assign all the roll numbers from 1 to 100. The very next day, suppose more number of students are enrolled. And the next day, if you again start that particular script, it will again generate the roll number starting from 1. As a result, you will be having double or triple or 4 times or so many entries with the same roll numbers. To overcome such issues, what the scenario is, the very first day when you are assigning the roll numbers from 1 to 100, you can preserve that particular value so that next time when you assign the new roll numbers to the students, your count will start from 101 instead of starting from 1. That will be the good scenario. So each time the function is called, that variable will still have the information it contained from the last time the function was called. So it will preserve your information. So that variable is still local to the function. Variable will be local to the function, but it is having the information that was retained from the last time the function was called. So that is the static keyword. So let's check it out in the program. So in this program, we are having a function definition, function myTest, and a static variable static x equals to 0. We have the variable x, which is defined as static. Then echo $x. We are displaying the value of x. So when we are giving a call to this function, this echo statement will display the value of x. Then x plus plus. What happens here? 0 is incremented and the value of x becomes 1. And now this function gets terminated. The control will come over here, echo br. Br will give a break tag. So it will be coming into the next line. Then again the function is being called echo myTest. So echo myTest will again call this particular definition, and this definition will initialize $x again, but it is having already the value that is being there in the previous time when this function was called. So that time the $x will not be initialized to 0. It is having the value as 1, so it will be preserving that particular value. Then echo statement is there. Echo will display 1 now instead of 0. And then x plus plus, it will increment the value 1 to 2 now. And then we are there with the termination of this function, and then we are using the echo break line. So this will put the control into the new line, and then again the function is being called. The same function is called. So this time $x value is 2. Echo $x, the 2 is being displayed on the output. Echo x plus plus, the value in x is 3 now, and the end of the program is there. So this will be the output. So that is the use of static keywords when you want to preserve the value. Generally, we use static keywords in the scenarios where we are assigning the IDs, or we are using the static keywords where we are dealing with the roll numbers, or generally it is used when we are deciding to have a counter in our program to count the number of steps 1, 2, 3, 4, so on. That is where the static keyword plays an important role. The next is PHP array. An array stores multiple values in one single variable. So what happens in the case of arrays is, why the requirement of an array is there. Suppose if you are having a long list of variables, like if you want to have in the memory, you want to store 100 items. So what is the one way? The way is you store first item in A variable, second item in B variable, third item in C variable, fourth item in D, fifth item in E, and so on till say AA, then AB, AC, and so on till 100 items. Right, this is the only way to store 100 items, having one variable for each item. But to ease this task, what we can do is we can create an array. Say A is an array, and A will be having 1 to 100 elements, which will be storing all the 100 items. And how we'll be using the item to identify? We'll be having the array name followed by the script. Like 1 means second item, 0 which means first item, 2 which means third item, 100 which means 101 item, 99 which means 100th item, because array value starts from 0. Always remember. The first item will be stored at a 0th location. So whenever you want to store the items in a continuous fashion means one after the another. Whenever you want to store in such behavior, you can store your values in the arrays. Array is a data structure. There are other data structures as well: linked list, heap, trees, graph. So in PHP also, we used to store multiple values in one single variable, which is the PHP array. So in the following example, $car is an array. The PHP var_dump function, it returns the data type and value, which we already covered in the previous problems. So let's check it out with this example. It says $cars is an array. So if it is an array, it will be having certain values as well. So $car equals to, this is the assignment operator, array means this is an array. And then in round brackets, you need to put the value that particular, the items that particular array must hold. So Volvo is stored in 0th place, BMW is stored in the first place, and Toyota is stored in the second place. Why it is so? Because array element starts from 0. Always remember. So if we use var_dump $cars, so var_dump will display the array with the data type and their value. So we'll be getting the output as array 3. What this 3 signifies? This array has 3 items. What are the items? First is Volvo, the second is BMW, and the third is Toyota. So that's why this 3 is there. And in curly braces, it gives you the values as well. String 5 means all these items are having string data type. Why it is printed? Because var_dump function, it returns data type and value. So data type is string, that is what is being returned by var_dump. And what is the value? Value is this one, Volvo at position 0, which is of string data type. First position is BMW, which is a string data type, and Toyota, it is on the second position. Also, you can check out the size as well. Size 5, string 5, which represent the size of Volvo. BMW, 3 characters, which represent string 3. Toyota, 6, so string 6. So this function, it is the inbuilt function, and it returns the data type, which is the string as you have checked it out, and the value as well. So this complete will be displayed onto the screen. Moving ahead, arrays can be categorized as indexed arrays, associative arrays, multidimensional arrays. So indexed arrays, arrays with the numeric index. So where the index is numeric, what this index is? This 0, 1, 2, this is known as the index. Arrays with a numeric index is called indexed arrays. Arrays with named keys, we can have named keys as well, that is called the associative arrays. Arrays containing one or more arrays inside it, it is known as the multi-dimensional arrays. So these are the 3 categories of arrays. We will be talking about all these 3 categories in the coming sessions. So first one, indexed arrays. So indexed array, we are having the numeric indexes. So as we check out in this program, we are having the cars array, and the cars is an array, and it is having 3 elements, Volvo, BMW, Toyota, and you are displaying it on the screen. I like, which will be displayed as it is, then the concatenation operator, then $cars 0, so which is at the 0th place position is Volvo. So what will be displayed? I like Volvo. Then double quotes, we are having comma. So comma will be appeared as it is. Then again catenation operator is there. And what is this concatenation operator do? This will be combining this complete string with the $cars1. And what is $cars1? It is BMW. Then again the concatenation string is there, and then and so it will be displayed as it is because it is in double quotes. Then concatenation string is there, and then $cars2. What is $cars2? It is Toyota. And then we are having full stop at the end. So it's in double quotes. So double quote value will be displayed as it is. So we'll be getting the output as I like Volvo, BMW, and Toyota. So this is the indexed arrays where the index is a numeric one. We are having the arrays with the numeric indexed. Then we have the associative array. Associative array, we have the named keys. So let's check it out with the example. So this array $age, it's an array. Here we are having the named key. So key is Peter. Peter employs 35. So this is the key and this is the value. Ben, this is the key and this is the value. Ben implies 37. Geo, this is the key and this is the value. So when we are displaying echo Peter, Peter is followed by a concatenation operator, $age, and we are passing out the key over here. This Peter is a key which resembles over here, and its value will be displayed in the output. So this $age Peter will be replaced by 35. What the value of that particular key is. So output we are getting Peter is 35 years old, and this is what the output is. Followed by this is the full stop because this is inside the double brackets, double quotes. This is the associative arrays with the named keys. Multidimensional array will be covering out in later sessions. Then we are having PHP object. An object, it is a data type which stores data and information on how to process that data. In PHP, an object must be explicitly declared. So object, it must be declared. We must declare a class of object. For this, we use class keyword. So we'll be using the class keyword for creating a class, and then for using the variables and using the functions defined inside that particular class, we explicitly declare the object. So class is a structure that contains properties and methods. So class, it's a structure that contains properties, which are the variables, and methods, which are the functions that are defined inside a class. Just an overview of PHP objects. So let's have a program on PHP objects. So we are having class. So this is how the class is being created. Class, and we are having the class starting from the keyword class till the brackets. So the control of the class will be starting from this bracket to this bracket. And inside the class, we are having a function which is named as the car. So this is the function which is named as the car, and this is the car class. The car class name and the function name is same. So this is the function which is called the constructor of that particular class. Constructors are used when we want to initialize a value. For initialization purpose, we use the constructors. Why? Because whenever we will be creating an object, like here we have created an object of a class, Neeraj equals to new car. So Neeraj, it's an object of car class. So whenever the object is being created, automatically this function gets executed. And when this function gets executed, this implies model equals to VM. So value of model which is being there in this class is set to as VM. And then you are using the echo statement, echo Neeraj implies model. So whatever the value of model, that is VM, it is displayed onto the output. So in the output, we get the output as VM. We get the output as VW because model is VW. So whatever value of model VW, it is displayed onto the screen. So this is how we create a class, and this function car, these are called the methods. And if we create a variables inside this class, They are called as the properties of a class. Then we have the PHP null value. Null is a special data type which can have only one value, that is null. No other value must be there. If there is another value like some alphabet is there, that is not a null value, or some string is there, that is also not a null value. If some numeric number is there, that is also not a null value. So it's a special data type which can have only one value. And what is that particular value? It is the null value. A variable of data type null is a variable that has no value assigned to it. So null data type, if you declare a variable of null data type, that is a variable which has no value assigned to it. If a variable is created without a value, it is automatically assigned a value of null. So if you do not initialize a value to a variable, but you create a variable, but you do not assign any value, so that is automatically that variable is having a null value. Variables can also be emptied by setting the value to null. Suppose you have a variable, say $a equals to 10, and you want to empty it out. You want that variable to release this value. Then you can empty it by setting the value to null. Then $a value will set to null. It will be having no more value as 10. It will be assigned the value of null. For example, in this program, we are having $x equals to hello world. So x is having certain value as string. So hello world is being assigned to x. Then we emptied the variable $x equal to null. We emptied this particular variable and then we displayed the value of x onto the screen using var dump. When this value is being displayed in the output, we get the null as an output because there is no value. We have emptied this variable and then we have displayed it onto the screen. So this way you can release the value from any variable. Then next is PHP Resource. A special resource type is not an actual data type. It is the storing of a reference to functions and resources external to PHP. So special resource type is not an actual data type. So there is no actual data type for PHP Resource. But PHP Resource is the storing of a reference to functions. So it stores the reference, that is the reference to functions and the resources that are external to PHP. So it is pointing to some external libraries or external URLs. A common example of using the resource data type is a database call. The common example is when you interact with the database, you are moving out of PHP. So that is the resource call. When you call the database, you will be using the resource data type. You are taking the resources to the database, entering into the database and submitting the query. Query will be bringing the result and your resource will be bringing back the result into the PHP file, and then you will be further processing that particular result using the PHP. Then PHP constant. So constants are like variables, except that once they are defined, they cannot be changed or undefined. So PHP constants, these are the variables, except that once they are defined, they cannot be changed or undefined. So if you have declared a constant, that is a constant value like $a equals to 10. If you make this variable a constant and the value is assigned as 10, then this value you cannot change, or you cannot change even to the null. Cannot empty that particular variable that will be holding a variable that will be holding a value 10, which will be available for the whole program. So a PHP constant is an identifier name for a simple value. The value cannot be changed during the script. A valid constant name starts with a letter or underscore, no $sign before the constant name. So it starts with the letter or the underscore, and you do not use the $sign before the constant name. Unlike variables, constants are automatically global across the entire script. So these are global scope. The constants are having the global scope entire string. So how to create a PHP constant? To create a constant, use the define function. Syntax is define name, then value, then case insensitive. So name, it specifies the name of the constant. Value, it specifies the value of the constant. And case insensitive, it specifies whether a constant name should be case insensitive. Default is false. So for example, in this program, we are having define method. Define function is there. Greetings. Welcome to google.com. And then true. So when you fire an echo command, echo greetings. So greeting is a constant which is having the value as welcome to google.com. So in the output, you will be getting welcome to google.com. So this is a constant. Constants are global that you can use within the function. Like in this program, we have used echo space greeting within the function myTest. And greeting is a constant which represents welcome to google.com. So in the output, we are getting the output as welcome to google.com. This is all about for this session. In this session, we talked about small topics like PHP Variable Scope. Then we talked about the PHP Arrays, what all arrays are there, PHP NULL, PHP Resource, and the PHP Constants. So these are the few topics that have been discussed in this session. So try practicing more questions of that type so that you can get an idea about how the things work and how all it goes with PHP.